What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And once again, we're back at it, answering your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Withheld Rather Not Say did. He asks, in the early Imperium, what was the... Oh, nope. Well, we'll just read that one since I read it out. In the early Imperium, what was the penalty for not following the Imperial truth? Was it like execution or being sent to a penal world? Essentially, it would be execution. But the only people that weren't following... the only people that would be executed... Well, I guess it depends. Because, like, the way it works is, like, when the Great Crusade was going through, whenever the Emperor would conquer a world, he would give the control over to one individual. Whether it was an individual that was from Terra, whether it was an individual that, like, the Emperor was cool with, or an actual native to the world that they just conquered who was, like, friendly towards the Imperial forces. And then it was up to him to actually decide how to deal with people who still worshipped gods and stuff like that. Now, if the planetary governor was found to be the one worshipping like the gods, obviously you're going to kill him.
Yeah.
You're going to make him the example.
Right, use him as, like, the martyr, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And then when it came to individual, like, let's say, cabals within a planet, if the planetary governor found out, what he would do is, I mean, obviously kind of the same thing. Make that the leaders of that cabal or the leaders of that cult examples, and he would kill them. The emperor also destroyed all churches.
Mm-hmm.
So any type of worship was slowly, like, destroyed. Which is kind of a bummer, because whenever you hear about any type of structure getting destroyed, whether it was, like, for a good thing or a bad thing, like, at the end of the day, like, it's you should still, like, leave it there just because it represents a certain era. You don't have to follow the ideologies of that era, but obviously, like, when we look at the old Roman buildings and stuff like that, it's cool to see, like, statues of Zeus and stuff, but that's rare because humanity, or, like, the Christians, Crusaders, basically destroyed all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it just the regular Christians? Probably, like, early Roman Christians.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the punishments. Obviously, just the same as being labeled a heretic nowadays.
Right. Penal worlds and, like, putting people in jail and stuff like that. It still happened, just for, like, the minor stuff. But yeah, if you were, like, a rebel leader or something like that, you're done for.
Yeah, because it seems like betraying the imperial truth is a higher offense than something like, I don't know, stealing bread or whatever.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is by Lee I Am. How would the galaxy react, or how would the consequences be like if the old ones returned to the galaxy?
This was the original first question that we wanted to talk about.
But it's a good question, so let's get to it.
Yeah, so for all those that don't know, the old ones are the very first race within the galaxy. They created the very first empire, and they were extremely psychically powerful. They actually created the webway and taught the Eldar how to improve on the webway. If they came back, I honestly think that they wouldn't be strong enough to deal with the current state of the Imperial, or not the Imperial, but the current state of the races in the galaxy right now.
Right, because back during the War in Heaven, the reason why they left was because they were on the losing side of a war between the Necrons and the Catan gods.
Yep.
The Necrons, although they've been tricked by the Catan, and half of them are still asleep, and then there's dynasties, and there's no unifying force for them, the Necrons would still pose a threat to the old ones, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Because just the forces that are awoken right now, they're a huge threat to the galaxy, and, like, that's only a minor portion of it. Imagine if all of them rose up and they all unified under the Silent King, then yeah, they could easily overtake the galaxy, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing too, even with the Necrons, when you look at the Necrons awakening, the fact that the Eldar, the Orcs, and humanity can still defend themselves to a certain degree against the Necron threat showcases how, like, the War in Heaven, yes, it was catastrophic, but you though that like huge military force needs to be present in order for them to actually succeed, and I don't think it would be for the old ones. I think the old ones that come back, they have no allegiances with like the orcs or the Eldar or stuff like that. I think those civilizations would see the old ones as more of a threat than an actual like, oh, these are our old masters and stuff like that.
And even then, like, the generations since then are like so far apart that they're never gonna call them master or like creator or anything like that.
Yeah, even in the Eldar mythology, which the Eldar gods are supposed to represent, the old ones, the fact that they're believed to be gods and not actual like lizard people, because that's what the old ones were.
Yeah,
is showing how like the current generation would not listen to them.
Right. They'll just be like another faction in the universe.
Yeah, it would be a cool faction because they'd be really psychically powerful.
And if they're returning, it's got to be for a
reason,
a purpose. Yeah, and they're not just gonna return if they're not ready. So they'll probably have like some insane technology, super awesome warp powers. So they'd be able to hold their own for sure.
Yeah, one of the cool theories is that the old ones actually created the Tyranids, and what they're doing is that because they were so masterful at creating biological life and instilling it with a certain warp power, that's how they created the Eldar and the Orcs. The theory is that they created the Tyranids for the sole purpose of like nullifying the Immaterium, and then also wiping out the Necron race, which was their initial like big thing. So once the Tyranids wipe the galaxy clean of all life, then the old ones come back. So it would be cool if they did come back beforehand and they were like, well, the Tyranids are actually under our control. Well, I wouldn't say that would be cool. I think that would kind of suck, but it would be interesting.
Yeah. Would that ever happen? Probably not.
No.
Yeah, because the Imperium's getting pushed over to the side.
Yeah,
we can't have that happening.
Yeah, these are all like theories. Good question, though.
Mm-hmm.
Next one.
This one is by Lee I Am once again. Do you think that GW will ever actually kill or revive the Emperor, or will he just sit on the throne forever?
I think eventually there will be some type of story that maybe doesn't necessarily have him awaken, but has him like represented in more of a like ether force or like a warp force,
like a warp ghost.
Yeah, like the Legion of the Damned type of deal, where like he shows up, and then you can use him in one battle. But obviously, he's still on the throne.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but you've actually see it that most of the Primarchs have some type of like end war or some way to revive the Emperor, and that's their goal, and that's why they're missing. So how do you bring somebody back if they're not going to be able to accomplish that goal? Like, for example, Lehman Russ, he went into the warp to find the... what is it, like the Tree of Life or some shit like that?
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be like reviving the Emperor and saving humanity and all this stuff. Like, if he doesn't accomplish his goal, why bring him back besides just like selling a model?
That's true.
I mean, that's what it seems like GW has in mind for their Primarchs, to have them be as a means for the Emperor to come back. But again, like you were saying, if he doesn't come back in flesh and blood, coming back as like a warp entity would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but you do bring up a good point with like Gilliman. Like Gilliman came back specifically because he needed to lead the Indominus Crusade and defend himself from Magnus using the portal at the moon. So yeah, like if James Workshop ever does bring back the Emperor in some type of form, like can you imagine the threat that must be present in order for the Emperor to actually complete that mission?
Right.
That'd be pretty extreme.
Yeah. Like, I think once we see like the forces of chaos right on Terra, that's when the Emperor is coming back. Because, I mean, as crazy as it was, they got as close to the moon. Yeah. That was probably like the closest they're ever going to be in a long time. Yeah. Seeing as that happened, they're not going to let that happen again. So the Imperium's now even more fortified. But when Abaddon's like 50th Crusade comes and they finally land on Terra, that's when some Primarch's going to come up and they're going to, bring them back.
Yeah, save or do something with the Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah. But you don't actually think Gilliman will be the way to revive the Emperor?
No. I think that another Primarch is going to step in. It's probably going to end up being like Cypher or something like that. It could be something like that, yeah. Next question. This one comes from Lux. Besides the orcs who kill himself, or besides the orc that kills himself, are there any other records of someone traveling back in time using the warp? Are there any time travelers running around in their past selves? Yeah, there's an entire Ordo of the Inquisition that's dedicated to this. It's called the Ordo Cronus, so check out our 40 facts on the Ordo Cronus. There are individual Inquisitors that you can read up on. Also, you have different stories that showcase the influence of warp travel, specifically Lysander. So the Imperial Fists. He's not a. What is he? He's just like a leader of, I think, the first company or something like that.
Yeah, because he's not a chapter master.
Yeah. So Lysander's story is pretty interesting, and also I don't remember the name of the individual, but he is part of the Sons of Dorn. Like one of their chapter masters did something with time travel and influenced some type of prophecy, and it's like this whole thing. Check out our 40 facts on both of those.
Yeah, and then it's like whenever you enter the warp, you never know where or when you'll come out of. So the warp's another big area that has to do with time travel, and chaos gods, they're timeless, but they have births, so that doesn't make sense, but that's a thing too. But yeah.
Yeah. You would think that Tzeentch would have more people that do time travel too.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe in the future we're gonna get some type of like demon prince that can do that.
Maybe. That'd be kind of OP in the game. Like take 2 turns or skip your opponent's turn or something like that. Or I think it'd make more sense to be like skip your opponent's shooting phase for this unit or something.
Yeah.
Because turns would be too much of an impact for 40k. Although they kind of do that with Age of Sigmar, where you can like go and then your opponent goes and then your opponent can go again and then you go and it's like.
Yeah. I think the thing about that is that you do that throughout the entire game. So
Right.
maybe if that character did that for the entire game, that'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I wonder if it would be overpowered.
I think so, depending on the army you're running. Because I feel like 40k armies are much more powerful and like game breaking than Age of Sigmar armies are.
Well, because you have your ghosts, and your ghosts can do a bunch of damage.
Well, that's because they're like one of the newer races. But watch, when the elves officially drop, I think they'll be really overpowered.
They have some pretty cool looking models that come in up.
Yeah.
Next question comes from
Jose Reina. Are there any vatos in 40k?
Yep. So there is a 40 facts on the Space Jaguars, I think they're called.
I think so, yeah. The Aztec ones.
Yeah, so they're like Aztec warrior space marines. They have a cool initiation
Blood
ritual.
Jaguars?
Blood Jaguars. That might be Blood
Jaguars.
Jaguars. Yeah. But yeah, so that's as close to Vatos as you can get. You should create like an Inquisitor that's like a, an OG. I watched LA Confidentials. That's a really good series to watch about Cartoon and Esteban Oreo. Yeah.
Take your word for it.
Next question.
This one is by River Moon at 916. How does a flamethrower actually kill a space marine? Because don't their suits regulate temperature? So wouldn't their space armor be worthy enough to resist a flamethrower? I think 40k flamethrowers work differently than the flamethrowers we have nowadays.
Yeah, even the flamethrowers nowadays, you don't actually get hit with fire. You get hit with a liquid that adheres to your skin and it continues to burn.
Think of it like glue, fire glue, napalm, basically.
Yeah. So that's another thing. So it's slowly corroding the imperfections of the carapace armor. Is it carapace armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
seeping into cracks.
I think phosphex was a type of weapon that like burns as hot as the sun, and that was used during 30k, and it was actually banned because of how like devastating it was.
That's funny that you hear that the Imperium banned a weapon.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like don't use this Chaos and Imperials.
Recently, I did a 40 facts video on like the underrated minor races, and one of them was, I forget what they're called, but they were a Xeno race that used a specific type of sword called, I think, a glass shard or like a glass sword. and it actually stabs you, and it leaves little bits of fragments in your wound, so it just gets infected. That's disgusting, and that's like something that like.
Well, isn't that what they used to do? Well, not fragments, but they used to do like poop, like back in like
Oh, I didn't know that.
Middle Ages. Like if you're fighting an army that like is gonna beat you guys up, they tell you to like rub your arrows, your swords, your spears in poop. That way, when you stab somebody, you don't necessarily have to kill them, but then all that like stuff's just gonna infect and kill the army slowly.
Damn, I bet that's like Nurgle style weaponry.
That's a plague weapon. It ain't viruses. It's poop.
That's pretty cool, or disgusting, depending on how you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Next question.
Ooh.
This one is by Bro Pizza. What's your outro song? So there's a link. If you scroll down all the way to the bottom in the description, there's a link to a SoundCloud page by an artist called Municipal Vice. He created the song, and the song is, I forget what it's Thought Something. But just click the link, and the rest of his music is really, really good. So just check it out. Next question.
Ooh, this one's more for you. By Elliot Figuera. Are Grots and Snotlings significantly more intelligent than the Orcs? If so, could it be that the Old Ones created the Grots to lead the Orcs, or to perform some type of leadership within the Orc force?
I don't think that they're necessarily more intelligent. I think they're just less aggressive and more prone to cooperating with each other in order not to get beat up. So that gives off the perception that they're smarter because they're cooperating. But in reality, it's just that they're scared. It's fear that is making them do everything that they do. Also, they shoot better because, they kind of take the time to really like aim, whereas an orc would just pull up the gun and pull the trigger. It's not really aiming. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like in that general vicinity. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah. Pop, pop. Next question.
Wilson the Warrior?
Oh.
Is Ragnar Blackmane and Gaskell both dead? As they both died at the end of... I'm not going to spoil it. That is a huge spoiler, dude.
No, but we know what happens.
Yeah, I mean...
So what happens is Gaskell gets decapitated. No, spoiler alert for all those people that are reading that book. But Mad Doc Grotznik, I think it is, manages to...
Like stitches it back on.
Yeah. And then with Blackmane, that is how he crosses the Rubicon. He is brought back, and they're like, the only way we can save him is if we try to make him into a Primaris Marine, and what's there to lose? Like, he's already dead.
Yeah, right.
So then he goes through it, and boom, Primaris Blackmane. So.
Yeah, now you know.
Which is kind of a cop-out.
It is. But at the same time, like...
You get cool models.
Yeah, I mean, they killed each other. Does that say something or no? I mean, because like Gaskell was supposed to be like the biggest, the baddest, the strongest.
He got beat by just a regular captain. Or, he was a captain of a company, basically. They were equivalent.
When like Yarick and all these other fights he's had. Well, I mean, Yarick shouldn't be able to beat him. But like, they have that whole Tom and Jerry thing, the cat and mouse.
Yeah. Next question. This comes from Maverick Azure. Which Chaos God has a better chance to corrupt the Black Templars? I think Khorne, because of the whole martial prowess and honor and all that mumbo jumbo. Yeah.
That makes the most sense. Yeah, Khorne. Speaking of Chaos Gods, Deagle Rants has asked, what is your favorite Chaos God within all of Warhammer, including Age of Sigmar?
Miguelito's mom, because she makes really good chiles rellenos.
Hands down, yeah. I mean, yeah, you could have, like, immeasurable, like, war powers and be, like, the best at fighting, but chiles rellenos?
Yeah, I'll take that over. Being able to pop my head, spin it around, and put it back on.
Yeah.
Wait, what was this question? What was our favorite?
Yeah, favorite Chaos God besides Miguelito's mom.
Oh, I think I have to say Tzeentch, just because I think I vibe better with Tzeentch for the most part, but there are some days that I'm like, I remember the lore of Nurgle, and I realize that he is the embodiment of entropy, but at the same time, he is immortality through decay, and that concept is just so badass.
Yeah.
So it's between the two. What about you?
The more I think about it, I probably say Tzeentch, just because the possibilities I feel are more endless with Tzeentch. Whereas, like, yeah, you can live forever with Nurgle, but like the abilities granted and the machinations and plans you can put in play, I feel can change the shape of the universe more so than any other Chaos Gods' boons.
Who do you think is the most, or that your least favorite Chaos God?
I want to say Slaanesh, but like, whenever I do like read into his or her lore, it's pretty badass.
The Palace of Slaanesh is really badass, yeah.
But yeah, I'd say Slaanesh just because the way GW has like no love for Slaaneshi stuff. Like, it's like, yeah, Age of Sigmar got some pretty cool models, but that's about it.
Yeah. I think Khorne is my least favorite because it's just like, okay, so he's aggressive. I get it. It's like, oh, he's supposed to be honor. Oh. God of War, like every single god-related thing has that type of.
Yeah, I mean, he is
entity.
pretty bland. It's like most savage, blood, skulls. Yeah, we get it. You like fighting.
Yeah.
But did you hear about Slaanesh? She likes friends. We do stuff together.
She likes Bridget B.
There you go.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. I don't know why I said that.
Just a reminder.
Yeah, but thanks for everything, guys. Don't forget that we can do these videos because of our patrons.
Patrons on Patreon.
So link in the description if you guys want to support us. If not, just sharing our videos really helps out. And it's you guys who have probably made it to the end of this video that are the ones that we truly create the videos for, because you guys are probably painting right now. And that was like the whole point of making these videos in the beginning. Just to have stuff for you to listen to while you paint.
Yeah, get a few little nuggets of information while you finish your armies.
Yes. And with that said, we will go off and watch nugget porn together. Hopefully your painting goes well.
Yeah. If not, take a break. Watch some nuggets. This is the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
We're out of here.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.